Good morning. It is April 24th. I am in the Green Mountains today. The temperature's slowly getting to the 50s. It's a nice day, not a lot of wind. We're up here to do a pattern sweep, look for signs of life yet again, and other than that, really don't have a lot of an agenda. The week's events kind of getting in the way of planning some of this, so some of this is going to be ad lib, but that being said, we're going to get moving and see what the day brings. Thanks. On the northern end of the Five Bogs, immediately adjacent to, I guess, bog number 4 and 5. And we're in a muddy spot we've been in before. We are following up with tracks. The backstory is that for the next month, certain access gates to certain forestry roads are not open yet. So the access to the area is still a little limited. I'm already seeing deer tracks in the mud. So we're kind of covering what I can get access to reasonably and working with that today. But that being said, the weather probably really couldn't be any nicer than it is. There still are pesky little patches of snow, however, that are still refusing to give up the ghost. Not surprisingly, because weather here is still cold enough at night that the spots that don't get a lot of sunlight are going to cling well into May. It's just part of being this far north. So sorry. We are, again, just kind of looking for tracks. There's a weird indent. Is that... I am actually going to... Hold on. Get a photo of that. That could be probably nothing, but curious enough in shape, worth recording. What the hell? with the camera, but what we're looking at is this indent, which could be very well nothing, but it's an indent in wet, mossy ground, and something obviously made the dent. So we're going to there's a couple of them here, and without stepping on them, I'm going to try to ascertain how many. I mean, they're kind of going in this direction, if they're anything at all. I'm not really seeing it. Well, hold on, that could be one. So let me kind of like focus my eyes here. It's one of those things where you have to kind of focus your eye to pick up on the dent pattern in the lumpy terrain here. But again, this is speculation, could be nothing. Kind of sort of track shape, sort of smaller. So of the suspects that would generally be possibly in the area, 2 years ago, was it? There was a potential of that one was a toddler, probably would be larger now, so I would think would make larger tracks. But the other caveat is 2 weeks ago I was up here and you still had permafrost on the ground, and that was impeding, further north from here by the way, a pattern of making indents to any great degree. The ground right now is a lot softer though, so I'm not sure that would be the case. But I'm looking around. I was going to do this in passing, but now that we're actually potentially onto something, I'm going to take a look around the meadow a little more. I find that interesting. Bear with me, I'm trying to take a picture at the same time. I am a notorious multitasker. I will edit that out though from the video. Let's see what we have over here. I might actually take a segment break so I'm not focused on multiple conflicting priorities. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a break. So I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to see if I can find any more indents of curiosity and take things from there. Okay, we are back. We are on the other side of the meadow. We are passing by some deer poo. Not that you care. There were just those couple of impressions that could or couldn't, may or may not be anything. We're going to head over the side of the hill to an area where in the past, interesting tree bend right there, natural but still, and where I've had where I believe I've been observed by the three when they were still in this area, but that was a couple of years ago. But we haven't been through here in a while, so we're going to navigate the lovely grabber bushes here or find a way around. Yeah, we're going to go around. I hate those things. You can't really avoid them, but this isn't any better. Never mind. Suckfest all around. And we are going to get over in this direction if possible. These damn things will get out of my way. And get over to the water line over the hill over here. It's not as far as I'm hoping it is. I don't remember how. Could be 50 feet, could be 200. I don't remember. Allowing for you might have to zag around terrain like I'm proving to need to. I'm trying to stay as close to the stream in order to minimize terrain complexities, but we'll see if that's possible or not. Anyway, another segment of wood scrambling. It should be right over here, but and while we're doing that, I'm thinking what's new in the Bigfoot world. And as typical, as far as compelling new evidence and the such, probably not a whole lot. So let's see here. Damn it. All right, so we're going to go over diagonally right here because honestly it's the most bald spot of terrain, so we're going to do it for that reason, if no other. To bring me out on the far side of the stream into the divider section between bogs 4 and I don't think the other one has a name. It's more of a stream running through. It's not really a bog. Excavation there. That is perfectly natural. If I didn't flash through that too fast for you. Now remembering just how much deadfall was in this area. So let's see here. I think that's a smoother way down to get. And on the way out, if the wind continues to play nice, I will put the drone over this too for a flyover for greater understanding of the terrain and all. But right in the face, that was not called for. Mother Nature 1, Mike 0. For which she sucks. That hurt. Hopefully that doesn't bruise me. I'm starting a new job on Monday. And don't need the help. So, heading over to this area, but I'm going to get well, let's get over there. I can get a better shot of that once I get past this, hopefully not too impeding pine tree. It doesn't seem to be, although I took a nice jab in the shoulder there too. I guess it's not a true outing if I don't have a couple of scrapes and bruises when I come back. That's pretty normal, I guess. Bushwhacking does come at a price. So yeah. Sorry. Attempt to gouge out my eye, duly noted. What's the easiest way down in here? Kind of hilly and steep. I don't want to deal with that. We'll go over here and around. See if there's a smoother way in. And I think I see one right here. Yeah, around the corner when we get out in this meadow, I think I'll show you in a minute when I get out here. It's an interesting indent. It's a log dent though. I keep edging around this more than I want to go, but yeah, so I guess it's going to be a pattern that the camera's going to be an asshole today. Pardon my annoyance. But we'll continue. I get very irritated when it does that lovely autosave thing when I'm trying to film something. Because it means if I ever do get anything on film, I can't trust the timing of it because the camera's going to mess up on me. So what I was trying to say before the camera was a douchebag is, if I was observed prior, it was from over there, in that section over there. And we're going to walk over to the water line over here, and while doing that, we're going to take a segment break real quick. And while I'm doing that, kind of think through my next move. Where we basically are, though, just to kind of point a map, bog number 4 is through those trees yonder over there. And the long, skinny divider bog that where we were 2 weeks ago, if you walk all the way through that, and by that I mean you're going to go at least a couple hundred yards, maybe more, you'll come out on the far side of it, and then you walk across that if you can get across, and you'll be over by the southern bog, which is around the other end of the greater ecosystem of the 5 bogs. But I am going to segment break here and go through this lovely shrubbery and get over to that section over there. We will be back in a few. But we're where we said we would be. So this is kind of like the water's edge of this stream area, and we're walking through here looking for tracks too. So far, deer tracks are the only obvious contender, but it's a good muddy area to look for tracks, and that is what we are going to do. So far, Bambi seems to be the only inhabitant, though, but we're going to work our way down a ways before heading back. since I remember, it's really just not that hard to get in here once you're in here, so minus the mud factor right here, which hopefully won't make me regret muddy, wet feet, which it doesn't seem to be. We're going to move over here. If I don't find any tracks, then we've served our purpose, and frankly, again, the camera's getting on my nerves for being stupid. You heard me. Little punk. And we're going to get over to where we're going to follow this along here, looking for indents, and like presuming something might actually follow this for a drink, as it is a moving water source. Kind of a stagnant stream, but still a stream, which is better than a beaver pond as far as if you assume that Bigfoot can get Giardia, which I don't see any particular reason why they wouldn't, since we can. But I'm also going to study that terrain over there, because what I failed to do last year was basically bushwhack through this area to the middle pond through like overland, not on the non-vehicular trail that can take you there. Because it is doable if you know the terrain, and I happen to have deduced enough of it. I think it's a worthy venture at some point. Although more so when I have an overnight kind of trip plan, not a day trip such as this. Because I was going to hit a few areas today as I formulate my day's game plan. But as it gets more dry and bumpy, I don't see really any sign of indents or anything. So what I'm going to do is move my way over to the center, see if this is a bedding area or not, and then contemplate my return from whence I came. And this also seems non-definitive. Basically a circular bald spot, possibly caused by historic bedding down by large ungulates, moose, deer. I'm going to say because the tracks around here are more likely deer, but we're going to do a quick pan of the area in full zoom to scan the tree line for future reference. For the sake of that, to as far as it goes, I guess, for study on the way back based on past history. But then we are going to start heading back and take a segment break to navigate through the stuff again. And I think that we're going to get back to the water's edge and then work our way back over that way. And for the sake of giggles, the stream itself, if you're wondering how deep and wide and all that, there's a look real quick. If you were to fall into this, you'd be up to about your knee, and minus what you sink into the mud with, but beyond that, you could cross this if you absolutely had to. I don't want to slog back in wet feet though, so with all due respect, I'm not going to. But again, as I walk back through this, I'm going to do a segue because I want to be focused on the look for indents and the like. So that being said, we're going to segment again. Sorry if it seems choppy, but the nature of the day kind of dictates the pace at which I do this, so that's why we do it this way. We'll be back in a little bit. We're now on the other end of bog number 4, and we are heading into what I think, at this exact ingress point, I'm not sure if I'm exactly lined up right, but again, the grabber bushes, I'm going to try to maneuver through like that and go around them. We should be coming out near or around the wedge meadow. Probably near, not right on it, but we'll see what we do here. Again, I'm not totally sure. There's an element of guessing in this. If I can get around these infernal fucking bushes, pardon my French. I am a little bored with them. They do tend to be more annoying than they need to be. The basic, the annoyance is they do literally grab you and want to like drag at you. It's annoying. The concept of one step forward, you take a half a step back, and that gets tiresome and very annoying very quickly. But I also like the way I wear the pine trees too. There's a good scratch from my previous bushwhack, but let's kind of get over the hill and dale here and see more of them. Awesome. See where we end up and how close I was. So the drone flew, smooth flight. For a brief moment I lost it in the sun and I kind of had to, I'll have to edit that out of the video, but I had to point it down. I wasn't too far out of, it was never actually out of FPV mode, but it was, the sun was right there, so I kind of lost it in the sun for a couple seconds and I had to point right down to use the app to kind of see where it was vis-a-vis the meadow that I was at. I was able to angle back to a spot about 30 feet over where I could see it again and bring it down without treeing it or anything stupid. Because I always feel like an idiot when, you know, I don't think I'm anywhere near there. That opens up more, so I do think I know where I am. So let's see here. Find a bald patch and then try to work our way that way, because I think that opens up. I think we're up on the higher end behind the wedge meadow, which is not exactly what I wanted. But let's work our way through the underbrush here and see where we are with greater clarity. Get around this damn tree. Excuse me. Yeah, the wedge meadow's right there, but you're up on the upper, like on the upper over the hill part of it, which I guess is fine. It's all grabber bushes up there, though. I hate those things so much. I really do. Yeah, let's see what we can do here. All right, we're kind of gonna end up. We're not as far. I actually know where we are. I've actually come out from this area. We're kind of doing that in reverse today, but we're gonna pop out. Actually, do this two ways. We can go that way or that way. I think we're gonna opt for this one only because it's a little easier. It's more of an open space. We're just gonna walk on down here unless that damn stream looks to be in my way. Let's see what that entails. And then we will, that is quite jumpable actually, so never mind my thought on that. It's actually kind of comical. And the day's been quiet so far still, but like I said, some of the parts of this area have been kind of, don't have all access yet because of vehicular access being a little limited for the next few weeks until that opens up. And by then, again, starting a new job, I'm also not totally sure what my new schedule is going to be. But we'll know that in time. Gives me a couple of weeks to actually adapt to the new set of circumstances. I'm going to take a look around here and maybe take a segment break once we pop out here and have a look about. So before we do that though, let's take a quick pan. We came in through this stuff and we're now on the back side of bog number 3, which I think you've seen me do before. But we are going to take a quick segment break so I can kind of break through to the wedge meadow and do some quick photography. We shall almost return at the mouth of the wedge meadow, and as I recall, this is the less swampy entrance. If I can get by this, how do we do this? Cross over there and then do a parallel up a bit and go that way. But actually I can come out this way anyway. So we'll do that. Checking for tracks, not finding any. Actually, you're on the wrong. I don't remember this being swampy, but passable if you just got to get by this dumb branch here. We should be good. There we go. Or we could have gone over that way too, which I'm going to kind of corner our way in here because it's looking swampy. That's why I did this. I went through this way the last time. Of course, all this damn crunching is going to take away any stealth effect I might have otherwise had. Last time I came in here, I got a really good segment of a great blue heron coming through or taking off. I wonder if I can do that again. Probably not. But welcome to the wedge meadow, which was the family unit's nesting point somewhere in there about 4 years ago. Apparently not this year though. All is still quiet. Deer tracks. Allow me to. Sorry. One day I'll get that damn thing right. And deer, moose, kind of a combo, I guess. They're following each other's trail. And then it kind of ends. So not overly surprised to find moose tracks in here, but so a pan of the wedge meadow. So if I'm right today, we basically have hit 3 of the 5 bogs. And we're looking in this lovely swampy stuff, because if something had come through there, you would definitely have some kind of an indent. Actually, you know what, you wouldn't, because the spongy, let me again show you, and God forbid the dumb thing goes down. The nature of the ground down here, notice how it sinks in and then kind of expands back up. It's like a water bed. It kind of contracts or and then expands back up, which impairs any track making in here, I guess. Maybe that's why they chose it as a spot for nesting, because you're near enough to see the people going by, because the way out of here is actually not that far away, in truth. You got to do a little bushwhacking, but once you get beyond the grabber zone, it's actually fairly wide open. So we're going to do a quick, sorry, there you go. If we can do a quick photography thing in here, then we're going to move back towards going back out and start making our way back and see if there's anything else we want to hit on the way out. But once again, we are going to take a quick segment. You're used to that by now. Again, I apologize if this seems like it's kind of choppy, but I'm still in the mindset from last week where I hadn't charged the camera. I did this time, but last time I knew I had limited battery life, so I was kind of trying to save the battery. What I want to do in the time that we have before the greater area opens up is either do the overland thing that I described last week. If I have time next weekend, I might attempt that. Or go overland in over that way and see what's deeper in there. Because if it turns out that our friends are not in the area I left them last year, because I might try to get into there too, but that's more of a more than one-man operation, because I think I mentioned the last time I was here, there's some minor mountaineering involved in that, and it's not for the timid. So having 2 people should you have a mishap is a better idea for that, safety sake wise. Actually going in, once you get in there, it's actually fairly open for a ways. You can get in at least a little ways and see what's in there. Same on the other side. When you get to the far end of the meadow we were in the first segment of this video, it looked like it opened up and we could get deeper in there and it would pop you out in the middle of the middle bog, or I guess it's actually like a stream going through there. It might even be the same stream that we were following earlier, but I have a week to ponder that and adapt to a new work situation again. So, not that you care about that, but maybe you do, maybe you don't. Anyway, we're going to segue and we are going to start moving back the way we came. Parallel in there compared to where the ingress begins, so that's my mistake. But while we were coming out, we may have had something follow us in the undergrowth for a bit. As it's thick in there, we didn't get a visual per se, but I did stop and notice, and then it went quiet. So that would usually be indicative. If it's Bambi, Bambi might have hunkered down. If it's something else, it might also have hunkered down. So we'll keep the camera on, but not necessarily recording to save battery life. But we are going to kind of keep ourselves perked up at this point for anything that might want to make its presence felt. We aren't far from where I had the sighting from 3 years ago too, so that's also relevant if they're back in this part of the woodwork. So yeah, we're going to segue, but we're going to keep the camera on and we're going to keep it in a ready position should something rear its head. We'll be back if
Okay,
so to wrap up today's events, we may or may not have found impressions in the first meadow. They could be something, they may not be something. It's inconclusive, but they were curious enough to make note of. We may have been briefly followed on the way out from the Wedge Meadow. Again, speculative, but it's why I keep coming back here. Things of interest occur. We follow up on them, and as things grow, as far as access to other parts of the greater area, we'll get into those as well and maybe have luck there. But for today, unless something crazy happens on the way back, we are about where we are, and we will catch you the next time. If you enjoy these, please feel free to tune in the next time, like and subscribe so that you can follow us if that's of something you'd like to do, but we will catch you the next time, and thanks for stopping by.